Hey folks, today is Friday, October 11th, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, and we're here to talk about a bunch of video game news. It's been an interesting week, so let's just jump right into it. The first thing, let's just acknowledge the rumor mill, so to speak. So of course, take all of this with a grain of salt. I feel like I say that like every episode.
What? Another one of your catchphrases.
Is it? Is that a catchphrase of mine?
Yeah.
Don't believe anything?
Not as much as, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
So, the newest thing floating around is that Rockstar Games is working on multiple projects, which, on the one hand, yeah, probably. They're a big-ass company. They have a lot of money. Obviously, they're going to be working on something. But the question is, what are those things? So now we know this because a former employee of Rockstar India's offices did an interview saying that he worked on Red Dead Redemption 2, and, I quote, a couple of other games that I can't mention. This leads to people going wild with speculation. What games are they? You know, what could it be? Well, what we can do, Deuce, if you want to just keep the crazy rumor conspiracy thing going, a YouTuber, a leaker, has spoken about Bully 2 being an actual project that was worked on with Rockstar Games. Apparently there was a playable version or some sort of demonstration of it, but the project ultimately just never got off the ground. If that is to be believed, if you believe this leaker, that is a bummer. That is a damn shame. I know a lot of people, we've talked about it on the channel quite a bit. Bully 2 is something we've really looked forward to. That being said, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that that game Agent they were working on, Bully 2, other things circulating around, I'd rather have them do a new thing than Grand Theft Auto 6 right away. I can wait for that a long time. I'd rather Rockstar do another new weird thing, like table tennis.
You say like table tennis too?
Hell yeah, table tennis fans here. Ultimately, I think the question to be asked is, what do you guys want from Rockstar Games? Are you down with these rumors, these suggestions, these leaks, so to speak? What do you want them to make? What do you think they're working on? Let's talk. But since we do now know officially, we talked about it last week, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, finally. This week we have a batch of screenshots, and the screenshots look damn good. Apparently a trailer is coming soon, and we know that the game will have 4K HDR support. I am very excited to seeing this thing scream on a PC. That's just me. But yeah, look at those screenshots. Boy, they look good. I don't know what else to say. Next up, I want to talk about a story, some statements made by Google about their upcoming Google Stadia streaming platform. We've talked about this in the past, and I think we've grown more and more skeptical as things have developed. But here's the newest quote. It's interesting. In an interview, their vice president of engineering suggests that in a year or two, Stadia will be faster and more responsive than actual local gaming hardware, even if it's something really powerful like a beefy PC. He suggests that the route they are going, the research and the developments and the progress they are making, Stadia is going to kick ass in a year or two. Not only that, he also talked about negative latency, which means the thing will be so powerful that the technology, the software, will be able to use that time to predict what players are going to do next, to essentially shorten the amount of latency and just make it feel seamless. Now, that might sound kind of weird to some people, like having the game predict what you might do, but some smarter people have detailed how that will actually work and how predictive it will work, so it's not going to feel like you're fighting with the game. There's also apparently some interesting trickery that could work in terms of like speeding up frame rates rapidly and back and forth to kind of make up for little tiny dips in connection loss. Really interesting software stuff that I'm not really smart enough to run down, but could they do it? I don't know. I think if anyone would know, it would be someone at Google who is behind the engineering. I think they have the money, the power to do it. I think the question is, for gaming as a whole, is it what we want? I think that's it. I think all we need to do is see things to believe things. But I've talked about this before. You got to have good internet for this stuff. A lot of us don't. I personally don't. I am skeptical. It seems like broadband companies are not moving as fast as Silicon Valley technology companies, but that's a whole other story. But even if it is perfect and there's no latency and maybe it kicks ass more than a PC and a console somehow, we have to be down with essentially buying games or using Google's platform. And we've seen recently, at least with Steam and stuff, there is a massive war going on with where people want to buy and use and access their games. Are you all right?
Yeah.
I am really curious to see where that goes, but since we are talking about next generation technology, just to catch up real quick, I will link in the description below detailing the new PlayStation news, but essentially, real quick, Sony has come out and officially announced that it's going to be called PlayStation 5. No bullshit. That's what it is. It's the PS5. Also, it is dropping officially holiday 2020. This is officially from Sony. Not only that, it will have a new controller with different haptic feedback, vibration, triggers that will have resistance, USB-C charging, and a larger capacity battery. If you want to find out more about that, it's linked in the description below. Most of you have probably been following that news already, but I think it's exciting and it's cool that Sony's just kind of coming out and saying, hey, here's the news. No big crazy events, no pomp and circumstance, just info. Also, in case you missed it, Doom Eternal was supposed to release November 22nd. We've gotten our hands on it at preview events and stuff like that. It's like our most anticipated here, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
not of this year, definitely, because it has been delayed to March 20th, 2020, which is great because, of course, the fall season is just filled with video games. There are so many games coming out. It's going to be crazy. I don't have any time. So, you know what? Doom, take your time. Get better. I like the statement they released. We'll see you in March. Oh, shit. That's also the day that Animal Crossing comes out. March is going to be wild. But they also announced with that the Doom 64, like putting it on new platforms. It's going to be on all platforms, and it's going to be a pre-order bonus for Doom Eternal. And next up, this episode is brought to you by Raycon. Now, you've probably seen these earbuds already floating around on the internet. I mean, like Snoop Dogg endorsed them. I've seen them on a lot of other YouTube channels, and for good reason. Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other quality wireless earbuds on the market, but they sync up and sound just as good. If you're looking to dip your toes in the wireless audio, but you're not willing to break the bank, maybe try considering their latest model, the E25. We've been playing around with them. They got a cool carry charging case. The earbuds themselves have 6 hours of playtime, as well as a bunch of these rubber inserts to customize your fit. That way they don't fall out of my weird, gross ears. Really, going wireless for your headphones is the game changer in and of itself. But all you gotta do to check these out is go to the link in the description below. It's buyraycon.com/gameranks, and you'll get 15% off your order. And thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Next up, it's some interesting PC news. Steam has announced a pretty interesting feature going into beta. It's essentially called Remote Play Together, and it will allow local co-op multiplayer only games to be played over the internet. That sounds like not much, but for some people, that's a really exciting feature. That's apparently going to be in beta on Steam October 21st, so that's something to keep an eye out for some of you guys out there. But next up, we got some cool things linked in the description below, some things to get caught up on, if you will. The first is a trailer for the new Avengers game. It's a new character. It's Miss Marvel herself, the newer version. That seems pretty cool. Also, we have a launch trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, focusing on the campaign that I am pretty excited to play. And also, we got this clip on Twitter that we found that is I don't know if this is old. It doesn't seem like it. This is a wedding, and they used a Buster sword to cut the cake. And you know what? That's pretty cool, because he did the sword thing, and then the whole crowd cheered for him, and I felt happy for that dude. Good job. Also, in case you missed it, we want to talk about something that's different. People trying new and different ideas. A FIG campaign, similar to Kickstarter. It's a little different, but a campaign has been launched for a new game called Chorus. And Chorus is interesting because apparently it's like a video game musical. I'm not really a musical guy, but I know a lot of you guys out there are. It's interesting because it has a lot of good people behind it, some of the Australian game development community, as well as a BioWare writer. Also, Troy Baker's in it, Laura Bailey is in it, and it's like a musical, but also like a BioWare dialogue choice type of game. The stuff we've seen of it so far is early. I don't know what to think of it. I was hoping it would be a little bit more of a rhythm game, but for the sake of it just being unique and them trying a new and different thing, I wanted to share it for some of you guys that might have been interested. Also, bouncing back to some next-gen PlayStation news, a new patent has been revealed that it looks like Sony may at least be prototyping a new next-generation version of PlayStation VR. Now, PlayStation VR has sold pretty well for them, considering VR is not an easy sell. It's not the most successful thing, but Sony has made some good moves with it, and it seems like they might be at least thinking about updating the product. We also know that PSVR will be compatible with PlayStation 5. Sony has gone on record about that. But this patent shows something similar to what we've gotten with other modern things like the Rift S, the Quest, and with what Valve is doing, in the sense that the headset has mounted cameras on the outside. On this patent, I believe it's 2 on the front, 1 in the back, a controller similar to a Move controller, but with cameras on that as well. And it seems like it might be a wireless or partially wireless HMD or head-mounted display. I love VR. I'm excited about this stuff. I think the technology is actually starting to pick up, starting to develop really rapidly, especially with what Oculus has been doing lately. So keep your eyes peeled for if this is going to be a thing. I think the biggest win here, though, is the fact that Sony, a big company who could easily have just tossed this aside, have decided to continually support VR. It's something they believe in, and that's dope, because I believe in it too. I don't know, that's just me. Also, for the sake of keeping you guys informed, this is rapidly developing, but Blizzard is in hot water for outright firing a Hearthstone competitor and 2 commentators during an event because the Hearthstone player spoke out against the Chinese government. From what seems to be multiple sides of the gaming community to some people at Blizzard, this has caused quite a stir. And as of right now, Blizzard has not released any sort of statement or anything like that. And I think that just means that BlizzCon is going to be very interesting. But before we go, now, of course, we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in to randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice, like all these people here. But this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how to send you your free stuff. But now let's talk about all the news going on. I want to know what you guys think about, of course, the big, interesting Rockstar? What do you think about Rockstar and the projects they could potentially be working on, or the projects they potentially canceled? Anything Rockstar, I want to hear from you guys, as well as PlayStation VR. Do you like PlayStation VR? Would you try a new one? And the PlayStation news in general. Do you think the PS5 is a good name? I like that they're just kind of no BS, just kind of sticking with the normal thing. I'm curious to see what they actually got, though. Oh, and Google Stadia. It's just such an interesting topic. As much as we're skeptical about it, technology is exciting. It rapidly developing is exciting. So I want to know what you guys think from that standpoint. Where do you think this stuff could end up 5 years from now? Who knows? Let's talk about any of this stuff down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. We're going to be down there as much as possible, but if you got anything else for me, of course, be sure to yell at me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. I'll be over there, so if you guys want, come hang out. But thank you for coming around here every Friday and watching the Friday show. We really, really appreciate it. It's our favorite thing to do. But clicking the like button helps us out. If you did enjoy this, we really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.